keep talking.
Yeah, so, well, maybe I should get the talk to Bowman.
But, oh yeah, I keep in contact with Russ.
So he wound up getting stuck in Florida, which is not bad. I don't know if he's still there.
He's leaving in a day or two. There's my left microphone. I mean, there's my left guitar amp speaker. You can't see it now. There's my right one. Now I'm panning out, showing you what it looks like out my window. Now I'm going to walk out into my yard. I'm going to give you a tour of my yard. There's my bird towers. There's a middle tower. That's for hummingbirds over there. That is.
I was sitting on my friend's deck.
Yeah.
He lives on Blue Heron Hills Golf Course. You played there before with me. And he's got a lot of flowers that attract a ton of birds.
Yeah.
We were sitting there one Sunday afternoon, and I asked him if he had a lot of hummingbirds come around. He goes, "Oh yeah, we had a lot of hummingbirds." Just as he was saying that they were getting a lot of hummingbirds, a hummingbird came up and was like 1 inch from my nose.
Oh yeah, they're cool.
Right, he was looking right at me, just sitting there, just in midair. Just I couldn't hear him because I'm half deaf, but he was. I'm like, holy crap! I've never seen a hummingbird that close in my life.
So this is my hummingbird feeder I'm aimed at right now. Right now I got a microphone right there, Bluetooth.
Up it, right there by the hummingbird feeder?
Hummingbirds feeders kind of in between. And then up in this tree, you can see another microphone. Here's my hillbilly hot tub. There's my pump shack I'm working on. This video is going to be too long to email you, so what I'll do is I'll upload it to YouTube.
Okay.
And then I'll send you the link.
Alright, cool.
There's a goose. Hey! Knock it off. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
What was that, squirrel?
Goose. I hate them things. They shit in your yard. There's my lower deck project I'm working on. I'll just take you for a walk down to my lower deck. Yeah, Russ actually came out here and spent about 8 days.
Yeah, I figured he might.
In the fall. There's my that's another one of my projects I did last summer, which is had these trees trimmed a little bit, and then I saved all that lumber there, and I built this what the hell you call that?
Were you doing any building when he was there? Did he give you a hand?
Yeah, Russ helped me with a few little projects. That's my firewood shack, or whatever you call it. Campfire goes there. Here's another.
Birds every once in a while.
Huh?
I can hear birds every once in a while now that you're out there.
You're hearing them you're hearing them in person, not on the speakers.
Yeah, it's like, I knew that.
I knew you knew that. No, there. So here I am on my lower.
I know you knew that I knew that.
I knew all of that. So here's my lower deck, which had to rebuild this last summer. It was collapsing. I built this thing originally like 8 years ago. But what happened was I had a party out here, and there was about 40 people standing in and around this area. And when I get over here where I'm walking, I'll turn around and show you that whole area right there was down about 8 inches, the whole thing. What happened was, I don't know if you can see how I got it built. There's some slanted supports where it's cantilevered over out a little bit. And you can see the posts on the right. I got them red posts on the left, and I got posts on the right. Well, I built this thing 8 years ago during a drought, when I was able to actually get down there. It was about 4 feet low water.
Yeah.
And it was fine for several years, but I was never able to get them. I did it wrong in the first place. I did it the wrong way. I didn't know what I was doing. But I found out after I built this deck, and all those people got on it, sunk down about 8 inches. Well, last summer I took it all apart, took the surface off of it, and I pounded down these red posts that you see here with the lights on it. Those are all new last summer. I pounded them down into the mud with a homemade pile driver, and man, it is solid now.
So would you knock them right down to bedrock?
Not bedrock, I just pounded them down into the mud as far as I could get. So when you're pounding a...
How long are they? How deep are they?
They're 8 feet long. Or I mean, they're 12 feet long, and they're pounded in. They're pounded in about 2 to 3 to 4 feet down into the mud.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like much, but what happens is it just kind of gets suctioned into place, you know. And when you're hitting a post with a 40-pound weight, that's like about 10,000 pounds hitting that spot, you know what I'm saying? And if you can pound it, I had my burly nephew come out and help me pound some in. We couldn't get him to go any farther. So now you see I've got all that weight distributed equally among these 8 or 10 posts here. You'll understand this when I send you the video.
Okay, I'm getting a pretty good picture.
And then
I understand what you're saying.
and there's I got all kind of little. I've got trail cams like that all over the place. 3 of them out here, not all over, but 3 of them. I got bobcats, all kind of things out here. I'm making railway posts out of trees and limbs I got out of the woods. I never did show you a video of this place before, did I?
I don't think so.
Well, I'll put this on YouTube and I'll send you the link.
All right, cool.
Because, like I say, it's going to be it's already an 8-minute video, and
good. Yeah, send it to me.
Videos too big of a file.
Yeah, it takes forever and it breaks up and they won't even let it go.
So, I don't know if you know anything about geese, but they are disgusting creatures.
They are nothing but shit machines.
So, you know geese fly, right? You know they're able to fly. You know that geese are able to fly, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they won't land in your yard. They like to land in the water.
Yeah.
And walk up.
And they come up. Yeah, they walk up, and then all they do is they pick and shit.
They pick and they shit. Well, as you can see, I've got my property surrounded by barriers that I use to keep the geese out. You ought to come up here. Yeah, it works pretty good. I'm showing you some of that barrier right now. You got to get up here sometime when the world opens back up again.
Yeah, one of these days I will.
And I don't have any really good internet access out here, but about 2 miles down the road, aimed in the direction that little antenna's at, that's That's my cell phone booster, my cell signal booster. So with the boosted cell signal, I get better data speeds. So there's a project Russ helped me with. He helped me cut that piece of wood out of a stump, and then we spent a couple hours taking turns burning that number 1140 into a with a like a wood burner kit I bought. So this is mushroom hunting season right now. Probably later today I'll go out into these woods here and I will see if I can find mushrooms. I've been out 2 or 3 times, but only found one.
Are there actually, you can actually get, can you get truffles out there?
Not truffles, we get morels.
I don't know what they are.
Well, morels are like the T-bone steak of mushrooms there. They're the granddaddy prize of them all. And then here's a little project I did last summer also. That little playhouse is something I built out of scraps when I built this house back in '94. And it sat up on them woods right at the top of that little ladder there for 25 years up until last summer. Had a friend of mine and we dragged it down. We winched it down onto the ground, got it from the top of this hill that I'm getting ready to walk up. There's the woods back in there. And we dragged it down, and it was a 2-story shed or playhouse. Well, what I did last summer was we dragged it down, and then I went inside and I cut the floor out. You can see on 3 sides I left part of the floor to be a shelf. Now I just use it as...
It's got a nice tall ceiling.
Now it's got a nice tall ceiling, and I use it as a storage shed. And when you're living out in the middle of nowhere, you got to have a junk pile. Here's my junk pile.
You do.
And
my junk pile's in my basement. And I don't live in the middle of nowhere, so I have to have it inside. I can't have it outside.
well, go ahead and say hi to Russ. I'll put this thing on my YouTube channel, and he'll see it.
All right. Anytime?
Anytime you want.
Hey, Russ. How you doing? It's Andy. Just talking to Chris. I haven't seen his place, so he's making a video. Gonna take a look at it as soon as we get off the phone. Where are you still in? Oh, Chris said you're still in Florida. Cleaning oranges.
I think he's leaving the next day or two.
Yeah, give me a call and let me know where you're going. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye, Russ.
All right.
Okay, hi, Andy. So here's my little project I did last night. I love all these little projects I do out here, you know. I put a post right there, which kind of sturdied up that retaining wall that's been collapsing forever. And then I'm going to take this piece of metal roofing here, which is left over from when I did the roof up there, and I'm going to cut a short piece to go up there on the roof of that spot where I got them bricks and that little panel. That's a hatch. That's an access hatch for me to open up the roof, kind of like the hood of a car when I'm done with it. And I can access this big tank of water I got in there. The big tank of water is what I'll use to fill up my hillbilly hot tub. So I cut a piece of that off that's about, I don't know, probably 32 inches long. Use it up on the roof, and then the other piece that's still long, I'm gonna attached to that tree, into that post I just put it in the ground. Maybe put another post about right there. Make myself a little barrier, just a little, you know, kind of like a little wall.
Little privacy fence.
Not a privacy fence, just more of a, if you slip and fall, you might, you know, just as a barrier, a little bit of a barrier from falling down that hill.
Oh, okay.
I got all kind of plumbing exits. So anyway, you're retired now officially. Did you say March 1st?
March 7th.
I'm going to go ahead and turn this video off now. Bye.